Spawning down in the bottom left-hand position as the red Protoss player, it is KnowMe. And his opponent down in the bottom right, it is the yellow Protoss, CPU. And so, the two of them, PvP, in close spawn positions on Frost. What does this mean? Well, PvP anyway tends to be a bit of a quicker matchup. There's lots of one-base plays that are very effective. However, current meta is a bit more about trying to expand out to your natural base. More and more Protoss players feeling confident about doing that, and I can't blame them in the slightest. With the Mothership Core, with a good defense, there's a lot of safe catch-all openers that really work. One really popular one being, say, like a DT expand, with a robotic facility to get observed around your own detection, just in case they're doing the same thing. But that's not to mean that we'll definitely get that far. Early scouts coming out, it could also be early proxy pylons. Both players, though, with pylons in their main base, there's not going to be any 2-gating, but we could deduce that due to there being 4 potential spawn positions, and therefore neither player wanting to go too risky. So, in the early stages, the big thing we're keeping an eye out for is when these gases and how many of them are taken. Will it be 2 with 2 probes in each? Maybe. If we see 2 with 3 probes in each, I'm probably going to assume that there's going to be some early tech. So that's why it's really important to get a good scout on it. But CPU, going to start off the Vespian train with his first 2 guys, which is going to be really good for KnowMe because he's going to come straight in. And he doesn't actually scout. Okay, so he knows that his opponent's spawning there, but he's not committing to the scout himself, only to getting down the single Vespian geyser for the moment. Now grabbing up a second one. It's only a little bit later, but in mirror matchups, I'm sure we all know that it's critically important. Every second is going to make potentially a big amount of difference. So, keeping a little peek on what's happening. Oh, KnowMe sneaking this probe around the edge. Sneaky probe. Sneaky probes are always the best probes. They're coming in. Okay, so he sees the gas. Just sneaks back a bit more. Tries to get a little peek. Okay, so he's going to reveal the probe. The sneakiness is all over. Sees that there's a pylon behind the mineral line, and I'm going to read into that a lot, but a pylon behind the mineral line can quite often be DTs, or at least a hidden Twilight Council, something like that. You just want to hide that sort of tech because you don't want your opponent knowing it's coming. So that's really what we're keeping an eye out for. But anyway, second gateway coming down here. Meanwhile, only the 1 gateway into the Cybernetics Core for KnowMe at the moment. CPU getting a good scout down. It's worth noting that both of these players are GM on the EU server, so very good. Both currently mining with 2 probes in each gas geyser, so not going to go for anything super tech heavy. So that pylon probably not going to be rushed out into some DTs or anything like that. And the second gateway as well would make that a bit harder to do. But second gateway coming down for KnowMe now. It's a little bit later, which means that he's got a slightly better economy and things are all going good. But a Zealot just keeping a good check to make sure there's no pylons in his base. And KnowMe manages to sneak another probe back in. Has it been seen? The answer is no. This could put a really annoying pylon right next to the Christmas tree, and that is definitely not what you want to be having as CPU there, especially with Warp Gate tech coming down nicely. KnowMe's Warp Gate tech is a little bit further behind though, but his Mothership Core starting up a fraction sooner. Now, without seeing any more gas get taken at a really rushed time, neither player teching too heavily as of yet, we can see that KnowMe getting a little bit more gas income through at the moment, Chrono boosting out some Stalkers and his Warp Gate tech, but what is the tech choice going to be? Well, it's a 3rd gateway currently for CPU, so he's going to be putting on the pressure. He's going to be trying to apply the pain, and this could be quite awkward because there is already a pylon down, and KnowMe is still got this hidden probe. This could be a very strange situation, especially with that. Oh no, it's a 4-gate. 4-gate up against 3-gate and a Stargate. That means that just in terms of sheer units, there's going to be slightly more for KnowMe, but he's got 2 Zealots here. That's not what he really wanted because these Stalkers and Mothership Core can kite them all day and all night. KnowMe now managing to get up a pylon in his opponent's base. That's got to be the quickest warp-ins that you could ever hope for. Stalkers, though, reinforcing now for KnowMe. He's going to try and pick off that Mothership Core. If he gets it, that would be a monumental win. And with the pylon in the back, it could be devastating. The Stalkers are desperately trying to close up the distance, but if a Mothership Core just survives, but no energy on it, so therefore isn't going to be able to float an overcharge. Pylon is now down. Back at home, Warp Gate tech just finished up. These 4 gates quickly morphed in, ready to go for that, well, pick up. But CPU, he suddenly sees, hang on a sec, that's a pylon. That really is a bad time for it to get spotted for KnowMe. He's trying to warp in some units ASAP. Won't get all 4 in, only 2, and that means the Stalkers gonna get taken out pretty quick. They're trying to get away as fast as they can. The Mothership Core working through some of the damage. KnowMe, the Zealots on the ground though, needs to get reinforcements to as quickly as he can, but unfortunately doesn't have a proxy pylon at the moment, which is going to make it really hard for him. His Stalker's getting taken out. The Stargate, of course, is up, hasn't produced anything as of yet, but as far as I'm aware, it hasn't. Oh, now it has been seen. Definitely has been seen now. All good. KnowMe getting down a Twilight Council behind this. He knows he's in a bit of problems. Losing that proxy pylon without a spare anywhere around the natural or anything has caused him immense difficulties. It shut down that play in what could have been a very quick end to the game. So, where does KnowMe go now? Well, with that Twilight Council, he's potentially going to go for either Blink or for some DTs. And with Blink getting started, that's going to be what's on the cards. He committed quite a lot to that push. There's no nice way to put it, but CPU is currently ahead. And, well, how does KnowMe transition out of this? Well, he does have more production. Remember this Stargate? It's only just finished the Oracle. It is going to be making its way across. They do go damn quick, though, now, and that means that going to just be speeding through here. There are already a lot of Stalkers in position, though. They are getting Blink, so that's going to be really powerful in terms of stopping this Oracle. And to be honest, as long as the control is good, the Stalkers should be able to take it out, unless, of course, CPU just runs away. And that's really the wisest course of action. There's no way he was going to get in there. But the push is still on its way across. Nothing else coming down from this Stargate yet. Really, the whole play is just that really CPU comes in, tries to pressure KnowMe at the front, which then means the Oracle can come in the back and clean up the probe line. But what perhaps wasn't expected from CPU was the army sneaking through past the crash carrier to go and deal some damage. But suddenly we see that the Oracle making its way forward. This could be an awkward position. KnowMe a bit indecisive on whether he should go or whether he should come back and defend, and that indecision could cost him quite a bit. Suddenly this Oracle is going to be like, hang on, where is your army? Mass recall goes down, and CPU playing things very safe at the moment. His natural base just getting taken. The Oracle still trying to just deal any damage, but not racking up a single kill as of yet. Is he going to be able to do a bit more? Well, we do see that the Nexus is sneaking its way through. High ground vision granted by the Mothership Core allows these Stalkers to snipe off the pylon. Supply blocking CPU, which is always nice. The army supply is in CPU's favour, though. Nice little time warp and force field, but unfortunately these Stalkers not able to do too much at the moment. They do have Blink, though. A Hallucinated Colossus gets thrown into the mix, but of course not going to be too helpful in terms of stopping this. Unfortunately, KnowMe losing a vast chunk of his army. The natural base still up for CPU. That Hallucinated Colossus takes a little bit of damage, but the Blink Stalkers going on the aggressive, moving forward. But that may have been a bit of a misstep there, because CPU had a lot more Stalkers still in the mix. Of course, with Blink, Stalkers can trade a lot more effectively than CPUs, but the Nexus coming down could swing things massively in favour of CPU if it's able to finish that additional mining, that additional probe production cannot be undervalued. So really the clock is ticking. Can KnowMe end this game? Can he deal critical damage or at least take out that Nexus? Well, we'll wait and see, but with a Void Wave there, it's certainly going to be a lot more difficult. The Stalker slowly chipping away. Blink is going to have to be utilised amazingly. An aggressive forward Blink to try and snipe off that Void Wave. Does manage to get it, but now with the Time Warp, we see the CPU Stalkers are just starting to work away, but some good Blink micro coming down from KnowMe. He's trying to pick through as much of this as he can. Blink's out of range of danger, but unfortunately an Oracle, I believe, then racked up quite a few kills. 11 probe kills have now gone down. KnowMe down to just 12 probes compared to 27, and the natural base up for CPU. He's getting himself in a good spot, and with the Immortals now in production, it may all be too late for KnowMe, who's down to just 24 army supply and very little in terms of income, and that's what's going to be hurting him. We can see that his money incredibly low for the time being. His proxy pylon about to get taken out. The Immortal jumped on, though, is able to get sniped down quickly. The Stalker count for KnowMe still pretty substantial. Going to go for the forward Blink, trying to take out a few more Stalkers, and this is the sort of little win he needs if he wants to be able to take this game. Gets a couple of probe kills, but remember, 11 killed by the Oracle back at home. The Mothership Core gets sniped down. That's a good pick off. A good amount of gas gets sniped out, but the Nexus still up. Immortal is there, and a second Immortal, or what is now the third to be produced, getting chrono boosted. Over at KnowMe's side, CPU does still have that pylon, but look at this. There's very few probes and no expansion, compared to quite a few probes and an expansion down currently for CPU. So KnowMe applying the pressure still. He knows he's got a limited time to make things work, and that Immortal is making it a lot harder, because if the Stalkers prioritize down the Immortal, well, guess what? They're going to take a bit of damage while doing so. if they ignore the Immortal, well, it's just going to tear through them. So it's going to be a tough situation to make this work, and these two Zealots making their way into KnowMe's base, well, there's nothing to defend with because all of the warpins, all of the units streaming across to the natural base, so just two Zealots may be the end of this game. They're going to try them in and try and get some good damage done. A quick walk through by KnowMe should be able to defend them. Two Zealots and a Sentry versus two Zealots. Pretty easy decision on which wins that fight, especially since one gets taken out without doing any damage. So, we've still got a good army here though for CPU. He's still got his natural base up. He's getting out a decent number of probes, chrono boosting more. But now in comes an engagement. KnowMe trying to go for it. He's trying to get a good snipe on some of these Immortals, but the second Immortal just dealing so much damage. GG and good luck. It was a best of one, and the game goes to Alien Invasion's CPU.